Alright, gentlemen, tonight's lecture and FTX is going to be on patrolling and reconnaissance. You kind of got a little bit of reconnaissance yesterday. A lot of it's about collecting salute reports. But today we'll talk about the actual patrols to do it. So, Peanut Gallery. 2 types of patrols. What are they? My lower enlisted, if possible. Or my fresh TLs.
Recon
Not
and
all of you
assault.
speak at once.
Recon and assault? Close enough. Recon and combat. So your 2 types are recon and combat. So the difference, recon, their job is to go out and collect information on the enemy, the terrain, and resources, and generally they want to do that without detection or engagement with the enemy. Versus combat, their main mission is to go engage in combat, and gathering information is a secondary objective. Think of like all the times we've gone out and done raids, and then afterwards we do like SSE, we do it real fast, and then we bounce out. It's because we were on a combat patrol. Versus whenever I sent you guys out the other day to go collect information on that Korengal outpost, I told you guys, remain undetected, because that was a recon mission. So, for our different sections, so a patrol, by the way, I guess we'll go big definition first, my apologies. Patrols are a detachment of a ground force sent out by a larger unit. Their job is to gather information and carry out destructive, harassing, or security missions. Patrols will vary in size, but they're usually platoon size. And most often, IRL, they're also reinforced with crew-served weaponry. So, the different patrols all have different elements, right? So first you got the platoon commander, high. Then you have your patrol units. They're usually the subdivisions. So for us, that's going to be the squads. IRL, you're also going to have special organizations. So this would be like your aid and litter teams. So that's be taken up by our medics here. Our EPW teams. And then also our search teams. So like the dudes who like specialize in SSC.
And your fisters.
Yeah, well, we have you now, I guess. So now we have fisters. So we have that as our attache for big guns as well. Also, occasionally when we get TAC Ps assigned to us, those TAC Ps and those fisters are going to make up that boom boom division. So those are all your special organizations. So combat patrols have a couple of different elements. So they got a headquarters. This is command group. This is me, a forward observer, my RTO, my platoon sergeant. All of those guys, you know who we are. We're Patrol HQ. Then we have our assault element, squads 1 and 2. Say hi.
What's up?
Hey.
Next we have our security elements, squads 1 and 2. Say hi.
What's up?
Then we have our support element, squad 4. Say hi. So my assault elements, your job is engagement of the enemy objective. My security elements, you guys are the cordon teams. And support elements, you guys are the SBF for a combat patrol. Makes sense. We've run these 100 bajillion times. Let's see. So recon patrols are a little bit different. They're more trimmed down. So for recon patrols, you have your headquarters. Hi. Then we have our recon element. Is FBI here?
Negative.
Nope.
Negative.
My sniper's gone. My recon
hi.
element.
He might be late.
Hi.
He's got a storm going in over the top of him. So.
Okay. Yeah, so...
I guess I was about to say, fuck me. I guess you got a reconnaissance specialist right here.
Nah.
Yeah, we are a fister. We have a specific recon team is what we're talking about.
we have an actual recon team inside the platoon as well.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So... Our reconnaissance patrol, so once again, we have that HQ element, we have that recon element, and then you have a security element. So, their job basically is protection of the reconnaissance and early warning if they're getting snuck up on. Makes sense? Nothing too crazy, right, guys? It's just basically platoon organization. So, do I have any questions here?
Negative.
What I love to fucking see. Silence and compliance. Alright. So next, we got missions of a combat patrol. All right. There's an acronym that I want you guys to remember. RACES. 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 So this is going to be your different missions. All right. So it's going to be your raids, your ambushes, your contacts, your economy of forces, and your security. Okay. I'm going to go over them one at a time now. So raids. So your job is to destroy or capture enemy personnel, equipment, and installations. Generally, also as a secondary mission, is to free friendly personnel who have been captured by the enemy. A. Ambushes. So you're going to be conducting an ambush of enemy patrols, carrying parties, foot columns, and convoys. Contact. So this is going to be your standard, like, actual combat patrol that you think of. Basically, what you're doing is you're going to the front lines, engaging with the enemy forces, and relieving friendly forces. That's your contact combat patrols. Next is your economy of forces patrols. So this is a limited objective mission, and their job is to seize and control key terrain. So that way people elsewhere can move freely. So a way of thinking about this is they would send our entire platoon out there. They might send us over to, let's say, Hill 400 to secure that radar tower and that outpost up there in order to look down, to give our boys freedom to move through that road into Sontantley, right? So that's an economy of forces. It's using a lesser force to secure an area so your larger force can move. And then lastly, we have security. So these patrols are to detect enemy infiltration, kill and capture them, and protect against surprise attack or ambushes. For any of my GWAT veterans, you remember your security patrols where you go walking out through towns and things of that nature. So, you know, this kind of projecting your force and presence upon the populace outside as well can be part of your security strategy. Do I have any questions? I know I just covered a lot.
Can you repeat A?
Ambushes.
Ambushes. Sorry.
Cool beans. That's all I needed.
Cool. All right. Next. So now we have the missions of a reconnaissance patrol. Okay. This one you guys are generally more familiar with. So I'm going to start smallest and go biggest. So at our smallest is a route reconnaissance. So this is a recon of a specific lane, such as roads, wayways, waterways, anything of that nature, or even, you know, dirt trails and things of that nature. Basically, you're going to go ahead of the main force moving, scout it out, make sure that it is clear, report any terrain features, report anything that you see, report a baseline for that area, make that report, and then come back to your bigger elements and send that information up. So this is a very small focused recon. Next is a zone reconnaissance. So this is, you know, this is a directed effort to obtain a detailed information of all routes, obstacles, terrains, and enemy forces inside of a zone via specific boundaries. So think of 2 days ago when I had you guys set up a patrol base. I set up those limits of advance for you guys to go inside of. That was me establishing a zone. So what you guys were doing was moving through a zone, performing zone reconnaissance, and then establishing a patrol base. And then lastly, we have an area reconnaissance. So this is, once again, an effort to obtain detailed information concerning a specific terrain or enemy activity within a specific location. Area reconnaissance is weird, and it can be bigger or smaller than zone reconnaissance. Sometimes zone reconnaissance are big, and an area reconnaissance is like a town. But then, like, a zone reconnaissance could be like grid squares. It's kind of like the easier way to think about it. Is if I send you out on an area reconnaissance, I'm sending you out to do a reconnaissance of that mountain range, or that town, or that village. Versus a zone reconnaissance is I'm sitting you down, I'm putting you out grid squares on the map inside of which you need to search. That kind of makes sense and separate the ideas for you guys?
Yes. Gotcha.
Okay, perfect. I know it's a bit like it's a bit arbitrary to think of, especially here in the milsim, but they are different things with different objectives and different missions. All right. We've done our different missions of our different types of patrollings. Next, we got to know how to plan a patrol, okay? This is very important for my squad leaders, my team leaders, my platoon sergeants, myself, as well as my next man's up. So, if you're like the next in line for promotion or to do these things, you might want to pay attention, because I believe this is also on your promo boards as well. So, this is a good thing. So, once again, I got another acronym for you boys. BAMSIS.
What did you say was on promo board?
Like how to plan patrols, patrol planning.
Yeah. It 9 times out of 10 it is, yeah. It was on 2 out of 3 of my promo boards.
Yeah, so it's important to know how to plan. So we're gonna start with BAMSIS, BAMCIS. So we're gonna start with that B. B is begin planning. So we're going to plan our use of time. We're going to schedule every event that must be done before departing friendly lines. You're going to study the mission and identify the significant tasks. So this is, interpreting the commander's intent. Next, you're going to study your terrain and your situation. So this is where you're going to do your map reconnaissance. You're going to look at your map. You're going to see where things are going over. If you have any prior information of enemy movements, you're going to consolidate that as well. Next, you're going to organize the patrol. So you're going to get with your unit. You're going to get with other units if required in order to accomplish the tasks. So if we were going out on a plan, it might just be us going out, but we might also coordinate with somebody else, let's say STS as a QRF element. Then we'd also have to get 160th SOAR for medevac. We'd have to coordinate with our medics for medevac as well, depending on what kind of medevac we want. So that's kind of how you would coordinate with different units. Next, you'd select your personnel, weapons, and equipment. Not as important in the milsim, since whoever's there is whoever's there. But the weapons and equipment, you might decide, hey, we're doing a long-range reconnaissance. I don't need to carry as many bullets, but I need bigger guns. So instead of all of us having M4s like a lot of us do, we might upscale to the SIG Spear and downscale the amount of ammunition to only, let's say, 5 mags. So that way we can move faster and be stealthier, and yet still reach out and touch somebody. After this, you would issue a warno. And then after this, you would coordinate with any other objectives. So friendlies, departure, re-entry times, fire supports, logistics, and your checklists. That makes sense for everybody on how to begin planning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Next.
sir, or whatever your rank is.
Yep. Do I not have my thing set up? Oh, I don't. All right, let me fix my shit real fast.
Yeah, I just took a big risk. I just took a very big risk.
He's a lieutenant.
Ah, okay. Yes,
First
sir.
lieutenant.
There we go.
Oh, yes, big sir.
Yeah.
Yes, big
All
daddy,
right.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so that was our beginning planning.
All
Next,
the
we have
things.
to arrange our
That's it.
reconnaissance, right? So this is where we go out. We might go and ask RRC. We might ask STS with their TAC-Ps and their special reconnaissance. We might even ask our fisters if they've been out. If we had a recon element that had already been out there, we'd arrange them to go out. So if my 4 Bravos were here, I'd make them go out. I'd arrange for them to do reconnaissance of that area. They're going to go out, gather whatever information they can, make their range cards, do some other things.
It's just cheese. Get the
Next,
hell out of
they
here.
would make that reconnaissance. So they're going to send a reconnaissance team out to make a physical reconnaissance, so that way they're on the ground looking at the terrain whenever they go out. Once they're going to do that, they're going to come back. All that information is going to come up. They're going to make a detailed plan. So C is complete detailed plan. This is where I'm going to write the 5-paragraph order. I is then issue the patrol order. So this is when I grab everybody who's going to be part of it, and I'm going to give out that 5-paragraph order. So when I give that paragraph order, I'm going to make sure everyone's there. I'm going to make sure that everyone receives a status on the tasks that they need to do to prepare. We're going to orient, we're going to build a terrain model, issue the order in its entirety to everybody, and then we'll conduct a Q&A session and then do our PCCs and PCIs. So then after that is supervise, inspect, rehearse, and re-inspect. So this is when we do, once again, another set of PCCs and PCIs. If we are kind of have an idea of the terrain that we're going through, we might do some dry fire runs, like on the flat top, whenever we're doing things. It's like if we're doing a raid inside of a house, we know the house layout, we might do ticker tapes of the house. So we'll do tape houses throughout that house in order to make sure that we know where all the rooms are. We have an idea where there may or may not be dead spaces. So that way, whenever we enter a building, it's not our first time hitting it. Then after this, we're going to come back, do yet another set of PCCs and PCIs, and then we're going to go and conduct that patrol. So, does everyone understand kind of how to plan a patrol now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Next, conducting patrols. So, first things first, we've already done formations. Formations, as we all know, met TC to tenant, all right? I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So I'll just let you know, your formation is going to be built based on contact with the enemy, that probability, the terrain, weather, vegetation, visibility, and the time. So, it'd be nice to just continually do bounding overwatches and have 100% security of everyone the entire time we're moving. But if we got to hit a place 4 clicks out and then be back within 8 hours, sucks to suck. If we're getting a staggered column, we're hoofing. That's just how it is. Next is your movement patrol. You guys are kind of used to this. The leaders are going to be kind of in the front and into the rear, kind of towards the middle-ish of the platoon in order to grab people. This is where hand and arm signals IRL comes into play. They don't work that well. We only have like 2 inside of the milsim whale that says military of things to do, and none of them are that fucking useful compared to actual IRL hand and arm signals. So I don't worry about it. Next is noise discipline while on patrol. Shut up. Once we do once we cross danger areas, do halts and after contacts, ACE reports, obviously. And then finally, for your movement controls, you want to establish checkpoints and rally points. So checkpoints are these predetermined points that whenever we're in a route used to control and remain on course. So this is kind of we went across the map, we know where we're going, so we're going to walk down this road, hit a river, go upstream, and then take a right near a finger. Taking a right at that finger might be a checkpoint for us to know, hey, we're at this location, we know what grid square we're in, we know we're kind of caught up with each other, so it's a good idea to have those distinct checkpoints. Rally points are designated while you are on patrol. There's 3 types of rally points: initial, en route, and objective. Initial is a point within friendly lines that if you guys get scattered, you're going to come back to. Generally, this is like your departure area. So from here, our initial rally point is always going to be this patrol base. If we were back at Fob, Michigan is always our initial rally point. It's basically where you step off from that is friendly. Next, you have en route rally points. You guys have actually heard me designate these, at least my command element has, where whenever we stop and take a tac pause and I think it's a good defensible location, I'll grab people, and you guys have heard me say like, hey, this is like a big burning car with a bunch of tires next to it, very easily visible for everyone to see. This is another rally point 300 meters like into the woods somewhere, so that way it's not directly on that big marker, but everyone knows, hey, somewhere over like next to it, that's our rally point, so that way everyone can see that big marker, get to it, and then deviate off. And then, of course, lastly is our objective rally points. This is our final prep and assembly areas. We've already covered objective rally points whenever we recover and establishing patrol bases. I don't feel the need to reiterate that. Everyone understand this so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, a lot of information. A lot of it is a lot of stuff that you already know. Next, during your conduction of patrols, navigation. So, designated compass man. Compass man is their job is maintaining directions. They can either do that by doing map checks, so map halts, and checking, making sure that where they're at. They might have their GPS tracker on their Garmin Bravos, like we all do. They can use dead reckoning. These are all techniques I've taught you during our land nav courses, so I'm not going to reiterate them. So our compass mans, they're going to do that. They're going to keep us on course. They're also generally IRL. They're going to keep a pace count as well. It doesn't apply as much in game because it's hard to have a pace in game when you don't really know where your feet are. So we have a general saying. I believe it was 100 meters every roughly, I believe it was 2.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes. It's changed since Armor's updated, unfortunately, so it's no longer even accurate. So that's why I don't worry about pace counts. Next, security. Big one. Security, security, security. So security should be set up when we're on the move, during our halts, at danger areas, and at checkpoints and rally points. So security during the day, dispersion, avoiding silhouetting, avoiding open areas, avoiding enemy locations, maintaining an even pace without running or rushing because sudden movements attract attention, and employ those vanguard and rear security elements if practical. For us at a platoon level, not that practical. If we were a bigger element, or if we were actually a full platoon, it'd be more practical.
I have a question.
What's up? Send it.
Just a general question about the platoon. Do we have a weapons squad?
4.
We do. That's Squad 4. So Squad 4 has a recon element, a rocketeer element, and a machine gun element.
Alright, type shit. Okay.
Alright. So, night patrols. So, you're going to use the same techniques and modify whenever. So, during night patrols, your team members should be closer together. Silent moving is essential because, as I said before, sound carries further during the night. And speed should be reduced to avoid separation and to keep noise down. So generally, night patrols should be slower than day patrols and much closer together. Do you guys want me to cover IRL, like, hiding techniques for how to stay silent during the night? Do you guys want me to skip past that?
Yep.
I say teach him LT.
I got one skip, I got one
Surprised you don't want to
teach.
teach it.
I'd like to learn
Nice.
to teach it.
Honestly, send it. Might save someone's life one day.
Alright, I got more teaching this. So, here's some movement techniques during the night to keep you safer. Alright, so first off, with your gear, you want to secure any loose gear by wrapping it in socks, wrapping it in tape, or anything of that nature in order to keep the noise down. Next, you want to have your canteens either 100% full or 100% empty. We use camelbacks in order to establish this IRL. So you'll have your camelback that you'll be drinking water from continuously, and once that gets empty, you're going to dump the contents of your canteen into your camelback. Reseal that camelback as tight as possible to make sure it doesn't slosh. And then, if possible, refill that canteen and then purify that water. So that way it's purifying on your hips while you're walking. Don't have to worry about it. Next is camouflage to break up your outline. Also, any shiny objects. So, think of, a lot of front sight posts get banged on sand, dirt, and shit, and it wears off the paint on them, so it gets from black to that shiny, nice metal. Nope. Secure that shit. Spray paint, soot from candles or lighters, anything you can to darken that area. I've even used grease, used grease from the motor pool, and then covered it with dirt so that way it matted it down.
I was about to say, wouldn't grease make it more shiny, but then you
It
mentioned
would,
dirt.
yeah, but the dirt is the main
Yeah.
contributing factor. So anything like that. Tape is a big one. Taping up the shiny parts of things can help. It also help reduce noise if they're in areas. Like, think of like your sling swivels on your mounts. I don't know how many of you actually own firearms, and how many of you on top of that actually put a sling on them like you're supposed to. But for those you do, you know those swing swivels will bounce around and bang against each other during movement and transit. Taping those up can help reduce noise. Like, I've done 3 or 4 passes with electrical tape in order to keep them from making that nice clang clang sound whenever you're moving and hiking in places. So that's going to help you during the night. Next, whenever you're walking IRL, you want your body weight to be balanced on your rear foot instead of your front foot. So it's going to be most of your body weight to your rear, step forward, toes to heel, and then slowly put pressure onto it, and then transfer off your rear foot and repeat that process. Another thing you want to do too is you want to make sure you're basically you're high kicking the entire time. So you basically want like knees to chest, so that way you're clearing brush and obstacles. The next thing too, never run at night unless you have to. And if you get caught in like a flare burst or a thing of light, if you're sneaking around, just freeze. Because remember, the big thing that human eyes see the most is movement. So there is a chance during a flare pop that the enemy still hasn't identified or seen you yet. They might have even had natural night vision that has been blinded a little bit by them popping that flare, so their eyes might be readjusting as well. And by staying hidden and not making noise, you might actually escape detection. If this happens during an attack, obviously doesn't apply. Continue the assault. For your night vision, avoid strain by not concentrating on one object for too long. If a trip flare activates, so this is a booby trap for identification, drop to the ground as quickly and quietly as you can and close one eye, and leave the other one open to see if an enemy attacks. So generally, if you're running a monocular device, you'll close the eye that doesn't have the night vision on it, and then flip the one that has the night vision up, because it is already used to a brighter light. That flare is not going to affect your night vision in that eye as much. You're going to scan for enemies. If nothing happens, that flare dies down and you're good to go. You'll put that monocular back on, click it back on, make sure your shit's good to go and it didn't burn out. Then open your other eye, and that way you've preserved some of your natural night vision. And then, of course, as always, light discipline. If you have to use light, make it a red light. If it can't be a red light, put a tarp or something over yourself that goes completely to the ground in order to block any contacts. We, in the field, we've used tarps. We've even used our own whoobies. We've gone prone and throw our whoobies over our shoulders and arms in order to do stuff with red light, so that way it doesn't travel as far.
Pardon my ignorance, but what is a whoopee?
The whoopee?
You sweet summer child.
Shut up, bitch.
Now, there's the point
Not
of
you,
contention.
sorry, I'm talking to Gazzy. The whoopee is, so they're called poncho liners. They're basically a piece of quilted nylon, basically, that you get issued, but everyone gets one. It's kind of your step away from your sleeping bag. So it's just kind of like a warm, kind of like quilted blanket almost that everyone gets. But it's fairly lightweight. Like, I have one in my house, and I think it weighs maybe 3 ounces. So, like, they're pretty lightweight. They pack up pretty nice and tight. But because of that multiple layers, they keep you relatively warm, and they also block light fairly well. And then, on top of that, you can put them inside of your sleeping bag if it gets cold out in order to make a double-layered sleeping bag. So, it's just a blanket. It has an affectionate name because you always got your whoopee on you. I've often had times where we would forego sleeping bags because they're too heavy and bulky, and we wanted to carry more ammunition. So you would carry your whoopee with you and use it to, like, space your stuff out to make sure it didn't rattle. was the official reason. The reason why is because we wanted some sort of protection against the elements. Alright, anyways. Reminiscing over. If I have any questions on some of these IRL ways to avoid detection.
Do you still use your Whoopi today?
Yes, I bring it camping.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a high minute air is his main blanket.
Yeah. Alright. So, next, we're going to talk about immediate action drills just really fast. This is whenever we have contact with the enemy that's unexpected. We're just going to cover them real fast. So, hasty ambushes where we see the enemy and we conceal, then ambush them or let them pass. Next is our danger areas, so LDAs and ODAs. Next is immediate assault. So, this is whenever we get caught in a near ambush, which IRL is 50 meters or less. In game, I generally tell you guys around 100 meters or less. This is not because it's actually 100 meters, it's because you guys are terrible at judging distance, and it's usually in a near ambush. So at that 50 meters or less, you're going to assault through them. At a far ambush, so over 50 meters, that's at range, you're going to seek cover, obscure them with smoke grenades, move to a different location, then assault through. Right, these are our battle drills. Battle drills are next week, but it's good to know some of these immediate action drills. So, some of the characteristics of successful immediate action drill: speed, simplicity, any unit, any terrain, any member, rehearsal, and aggressiveness. So, make it simple, make it fast, make it angry, and then practice. That's going to make you successful. Let's see. After this, I think half my document here is all on hand and arm signals and, yeah, formations. I'm not going to teach you hand and arm signals. We can't use them anyways. Last, cover, concealment, and camouflage. Cover is anything that stops enemy weapons from shooting you. Can be natural, man-made. So, natural cover: tree, logs, stumps, ravines, hollows, and slopes. Man-made cover is fighting holes, trenches, walls, rubber, and abandoned equipment. Concealment is anything that can hide you, but it doesn't protect you from any fire. Bushes, tall grass, anything of that nature. And then camouflage is anything that keeps you, your equipment, in position from looking like what they are. So, things that help with your camouflage is movement, shadows, fighting positions in areas where people don't expect them, light sources and shiny objects are policed, shapes to break up outlines, colors should be muted so that way they don't use any contrast. You want them to be dispersed so there's not too many in one place. Cool.
So some people might even cover themselves in mud or dirt.
Yep. An easy way to camouflage yourself is to sugar cookie yourself by getting wet and then rolling in dirt or mud, as he was saying. We would often do this during quiet amphibious beach landings. Whenever I was in the Raiders, you would come out of the water, sugar cookie yourself, so that way you were harder to see, and then you start your hiking.
You call it sugar cooking?
Yeah, because you get crusted by all the sand, so you look like a big sugar cookie. Yeah.
Like that.
And the chafing.
No, sir.
Negative. No.
Cool, cool, cool.
I will say this, though. I asked a bunch of these dudes what are the 5 principles of patrolling. None of them could answer it.
I answered.
Oh, well, you don't count in this scenario.
Hey, you gotta earn giving us shit, buddy.
Alright, so, joke's on you, there is a quiz. So, I hope you all were paying attention. I'm I'm gonna call you out one by one. We're gonna say someone disappeared.
Man, look at that.
Someone actually left. They're like, fuck
That's
no.
funny as hell.
Dex, you there?
Yes, sir, Ski.
What is the acronym for the missions of a combat patrol?
A mission of recon patrol or combat?
Combat.
I don't. I only got mission of recon. I might have been gone. I was helping my daughter do something. I'm so sorry.
My bad. No, you good. Yeah, spend time with your family. I don't give a shit. That's way more
Yeah,
important.
so I wrote down. I could do missions of recon patrol. I got that written down. Races, plan
All right,
patrol,
yeah.
rally points, security, all that.
Yeah, so go ahead. Give me my 3 missions of a reconnaissance patrol.
You got route recon, zone recon, and area recon.
Perfect. Watterson. Do my missions of a combat patrol then, please.
Engaging the enemy, reconnaissance, security operations, and harassment.
Yep. So must be weird. Oops. What is the E in races? What kind of patrol is that for a combat patrol?
Economics of. Or I don't know, some. I got economics of.
Economy of forces.
Okay, economy of
Yeah.
forces. There you go.
Yep. There you go. So economy of forces.
That's a big book.
Yep. This is why we ask.
The back door.
I wouldn't ask this much. I wouldn't be this personally invested, but I know you guys get tested on this, so I want you guys to make me look good, like I actually taught you something. Grits.
I don't know, Zeke. They managed to find a way to make us look good either way.
I know. That's because we strive for them to be better than everybody else. Grits, you there?
Bro, an AFK again.
Hell yeah. He's like, no, I'm in school. I don't need any more fucking questions.
No wonder he's brain dead. He's going to American school.
Easy there.
Alright, Gazzy, R.
4.
Combat Patrol. Races, R. What is it?
Raids.
Yep. Someone else, what's the A?
Ambush.
Ambush.
Cool. What's the C?
Contact.
Contact.
What's the S?
Security.
Security.
Cool, cool. Alright. Gentlemen, I think that is it for things. If you want any additional reading, the documentation that I'm referencing is RP 050.